That's what I'm talking. There's there are things that are true for a wide range of people. You know, and you kind of get back to that discussion about influences. We don't live in a conservative society anymore. We don't live in a progressive society. We don't live in a liberal society. We don't live in a libertarian society. Okay, we live in a society that is influenced by all of these trains of thought. That's what we live in. That's our society now. And there's never going to be a conservative society again. There's never going to be a liberal society again. There's never going to be a libertarian society again. But there will be a society that will benefit or not benefit from these influences, these philosophical influences. Okay? All right. So you, as a journalist, would be identifying. You know, I'm going to use biblical terms. What, you know, you can see a tree by its fruit. Okay, it's a wonderful way of looking at journalism. Okay, you want to report on the fruit all the time. Okay, you don't want to report on your own narrative. You want to report on the fruit. If there's a regulation been passed, it has fruit. It has bad fruit. It has good fruit. Okay. A wide range of people should be able to agree with you on the fruit. Fruit is very akin to fact, isn't it? Isn't that what the Scripture teaches us about fruit? That's where you get, you know a tree, fact, by its fruit. Okay? So that's your job. That's your job. What's the fruit? And see how it gets back to the iterative nature of journalism? We are not going back to a Christian society. Not going back to a well, I don't want to say that. You know, that is not true, because in this particular case, when Jeremiah preached, and these folks lived for the shalom of the city, okay, do you remember what happens next? The Babylonians financed the rebuilding of Jerusalem. They built the wall back. Okay, they tore the wall down. The wall got torn down. Okay, they financed. What's his name? Sword in one hand. And Nehemiah. Yeah. Okay, they financed that. Okay, and in the medieval times, what Tim was pointing out, Christianity exploded again. Okay, so we may get another run that Christianity becomes a central influence in the city, in society. We may get it because of the fruit that it bears. I hope so. I hope so. So I can't say that. But the way to get that is to not take back the country for Christianity. The way to get that is to serve the country, because you have been served already. Because your identity is not based on need, it's based on service. You have something to give because something greater than you could ever possibly have attained in your life has been given to you. Because someone loved you before the foundation of the earth. Someone knew your name and covenanted with his Father to die for you and to reveal that to you. Okay, so your greatest need is taken care of. So if my greatest needs are taken care of, I tend to think about other people. Okay, so this is very philosophical, and this is, we won't, in our age, we won't be doing any of this stuff. But I really feel it's important to lay this basis down. So when I ask about, okay, well, what's going on in this thing? What do we need to find out? Okay, you're going to find this absolutely connected to my search for fruit, or good fruit or bad fruit, because it's centrally connected to my search for credibility, which is centrally connected for when I get that, when we do have an opportunity as Christians to understand the need for Christian influence, biblical influence for the good of society. We have the credibility to deliver the wad. We've got the truck. We can load up a thing that can save society and drive it over the bridge because we built the bridge. And someone will say, well, that's just, that journalist knows a lot about lots of stuff, including his own beliefs. This just becomes another source of information. This will be another thing that we'll teach at another time. A good investigative reporter, okay, can articulate any philosophical position, any position in a debate, as well as the leading spokesman for that debate. Okay, I used to joke with my people who used to work for me. He says, "I want you to be able to be used equally by all sides." Okay, I want you to say, "Okay, be the Democrat right now, and tell me, act like a Democrat right now. And I want you to give the strongest position so that the Democrat standing in the room and say, 'Whoa, can I hire you? You're really good. You're exactly what I want you to say.' That's exactly. Okay, now be the Republican." And the Republican would stand there and say, "Whoa, can I hire you? You know exactly what I'm talking about." Okay, that's the journalist's job. You ought to be able to snap your fingers and articulate the narrative of anybody in the game. That's your job. You got to get these people. Back to Tim Keller's message. You got to love these people. You got to sort of hate where they're coming from. You got to love where they're coming from, with respect to understanding that they believe they are doing their best. Nancy Pelosi, God bless her soul, believes she is doing her best. She really does, and I have to admire that part about her. Okay, she believes that she needed to make some Democrats walk the plank because the nation needs universal health. Talk about religious conviction. She had a tremendous religious conviction. There's something admirable about. She's trying to do the right thing. Okay, I disagree with it, but there's something. I want to understand someone who's that passionate about what it is that they think. I want to know why they think. Why would you cause your own party to walk the plank over something? Why is it that important? I need to know that as a journalist. I need to know that. I don't want to deny that as part of my cognitive knowledge. I need to understand and embrace what it is that the people are saying. Because how do you talk to them? How do you say that? Does it come out that well, I really don't tell me too much because I really hate what you're saying. Or are you saying, tell me, why do you think that? Why would it be okay? How's this going to work? Do you really think you can pay for it? Or, you learn it as an investigative reporter. You learn how to punch the button. You find something someone's passionate about, and you ask them questions in their world, and the floodgate opens. This is what they think about. That's what they live for. That's what, when they go to bed at night, that's the last thing they think of. When they wake up after they have their coffee, they think about that again. Okay, you hook into that the way they hook into it, the way they live it. They can't help but tell you something. It's their life. Okay, you're not going to get there if they think you hate them. You got to love them. And once again, it kind of gets back to, if your identity is taken care of, you can love people that are not like you. That builds credibility. That gives me an opportunity when a fast-living, black limousine, money-dripping lobbyist cheats on his wife and she leaves him, okay, and he wants to talk to me. And he's messed up the next day, and I call him up and say, "What's going on?" And he can't. He's mumbling to me, and he's somehow distracted. "What's happening? What's the matter?" And he talks to me about what happened in his life, and he becomes saved 2 years later. Because at that point, I wasn't a stark, raving, mad, crazy Christian, Bible-believing, hand-raising, tongue-speaking crazy guy. I was a guy who had a relationship with him, and I was saying, "What's the matter?" My wife left me. So that's how those things happen. That's credibility. So anyway, enough with the philosophical preaching. Although I do honestly believe this is very important for you guys to get. I believe this is the future of Christian journalism. I really do. They've asked me to come and teach, and I talked to Michelle about it. I said, "Michelle, I've worked in a secular world my whole life, and I've got a certain viewpoint, and I hope you're okay with this." decided to tell you what I'm thinking. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with covering only Christian issues. Okay, I mean, First Amendment is a wonderful thing. I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. We should have all viewpoints. And there's a tremendous need and benefit for articulating worldviews. Okay, because people have a need to understand the pure strain of something. And the First Amendment allows us, not more than allows us, it's a gift from God in this country. It allows this to happen in a very fruit-bearing way. I'm not denying any of that. I'm just saying there's a need for Christians to be credible in the big game. And you can be. And you should be.